would you mind? Yeah, that works. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I was like literally wolfing down food. I was hungry. So we just got done eating. So my apologies for being a little bit late. So, okay. Hopefully everybody can kind of hear me. I want to make sure all my stuff is up. Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me A-okay? Hopefully you guys can. Ooh. Yay. People can hear me. Yay. Okay. So if you guys don't know, this is my Q&A. So with the Q&As, I like answering questions. Now I won't be doing personal readings in this one. I did 8 readings today, so I'm like tapped out for readings. Templeton, get down. Hang on one second. I gotta move my food because I don't trust my dog. So I don't trust you. You gonna eat my asparagus. Gotta move my food, honey. He's gonna eat my asparagus. My mom brought me fresh asparagus. Oh my God, so good. Okay, so like I said before, this is my free Q&A. So if you guys have questions, by all means, go ahead and ask. I'll be answering those questions for you the best that I can. But remember, I won't be doing readings on this one. So anything metaphysical, anything spiritual, anything weird, crazy, weird stuff that you want to ask? All right. So Krista is asking, my daughter has been reoccurring nightmares that she's being kidnapped. Any idea or meaning behind this? So Krista, a lot of times that is something that very well could have happened in a previous life. I know kids, especially under the ages of between 2 and 5, a lot of times will have reoccurring nightmares. And those nightmares, 9 times out of 10, are something that would have happened in a previous life. So if that's the case, usually it happened in a previous life and then it's not going to be happening in this life. Thank goodness. So yeah. Carrie wants me to talk about, Carrie, I'll talk about the elementals in a minute. Jackie, I will talk about this. Okay, so understand that yesterday and today, we've had some serious energy spikes, like serious energy spikes. A lot of the ears have been ringing up again or feeling kind of clogged like that. Headaches like no other. Especially headaches here, feeling like pressure here, third eye, back behind the hair, all that stuff. So I'm going to tell you what, when the Schumann resonance spikes, like it did, it was in the hundreds again. Normally it should be at 7 hertz. It was over 100. So you're going to feel different. Good luck sleeping. You're either going to sleep solid for like 10 to 12 hours or you're going to get 4 hours. There really isn't any in between. So dreams will be absolutely batshit crazy. Anxiety up, absolutely up. And it feels like a lot of us are kind of weird on pins and needles. I'm going to tell you that's just the way the energy is. I'm really hoping this is going to settle down, but I don't think it's going to. I think this is going to be a pattern that we're just going to have to get used to. The main reason why is because a lot of us are spiritually enlightened, but we need to get everybody else kind of caught up here. And so our bodies are trying to adapt to all these new energies that have been incoming here lately. And that has not been easy. That hasn't been easy. So make sure you guys ground. I mean, and really feet to earth, and back up against a tree, anything that is earthy that you can get your damn hands on, get it on. So especially today and tomorrow, you're going to feel really tired, especially today, discombobulated, almost like you can't get your footing right. That's why I've been telling people, watch how you walk, watch how your footing. So that's a pretty big deal. So just kind of keep an eye on stuff like that. But yeah, the Schumann resonance has been off the charts. Plus we have 4 planets, I think maybe even 5 planets in retrograde. So that's just a lot of introspection. So if you feel really stuck in neutral, it's A-okay. It's A-okay. Because with all these things happening right now, you know, we got the Schumann resonance spikes, all this retrograde, you're just going to feel like, duh. So it's okay. That's how everybody's feeling right now. It's all good. It's going to be really hard to get your mojo. It's going to be hard to get your energy. And the best way to do that is to simply put, get outside. Get outside the best that you possibly can. It will help. So it will help. Leanna said, my pendulum is only telling me yes to everything. What could I be doing wrong? I want you to get more specific in what you're asking and make sure you're asking for yourself and not for another person. Your free will affects everything. So your pendulum is only going to give you the most probable outcome. So not necessarily what you're hoping for. So that's why word it a little bit better. Word it better. So yeah, the womp womp sound in the right ear. So the right side, remember, is always your intuitive side. Left side is logical. So the right side, high pitched is usually angels, low pitched is usually spirit guides. And you're even going to feel like you got like cotton swabs in your ear and you're like, what? So you're going to notice a lot of the ear stuff. So what are your thoughts on spirits coming through cell phones? Well, hell yeah, they can. You betcha. Yep, that's their way of just letting you know hi. So, do you mind? Oy, weirdos. Okay. Do I believe in earthbound spirits? Yep, that's what, if so, why are they stuck? My 8-year-old thinks you're beautiful. Ah! So the biggest thing is that, yes, Denise, those are ghosts. So ghosts are earthbound spirits. And a lot of times when somebody dies, especially quickly, or suicide, a lot of times, they get a little lost. They don't know if they're really dead or alive, and they get kind of confused. So a lot of times, those are just ghosts. And you can ask God. All you got to do is light a white candle. Be like, all right, God, please send down the white light and get these guys home. And something along those lines, they'll go. It's not like you have to do some fancy ritual or anything out. Just be like, okay, God, come take care of this, please. They will. So I say they because it's usually a team of like angels that'll take care of it for you. Okay. When I ask my spirit guides for direction, how do I know it's them talking to me? Because it's faster than your logic can comprehend. It sounds like you're talking to yourself in your own voice, but it's faster than your own logic can possibly comprehend. So that's how you know it's them and not you. Yeah, that makes sense. Spirit trying to tell me some, no idea what it is because I can't figure out how to communicate right now. I'm going by the numbers. And just go with the numbers, JC. So look up the spiritual meaning behind the numbers that you're seeing. Those are baby steps. That's how we start. That's how we open that line of communication. It's not like it just opens up and all of a sudden you're communicating with dead people. It doesn't work that way. So it takes a long time. It takes practice. So, okay. April, left knee pain. It's lack of creativity. So you're not being creative. And those are usually people that have left knee pain, or I'm always telling them, you need to get into your creativity. And they're like, but I'm not creative. And I'm like, just because you failed an art project in 3rd grade doesn't mean that you're not creative. So open up that line of creativity. What does it mean when I hear heavy metal rock music randomly before I fell asleep? Carrie, usually that's going to be a loved one sending a message saying hi. So if you associate that with a loved one, almost always that's going to be a loved one just coming in and saying hi. Okay. Do you believe a meatless plant-based diet heightens psychic abilities? Bells, it can. Yes, it can. I personally eat meat because I've tried to do the plant-based stuff and my body is like, no, girl, you need some meat. So every body is different. So, I mean, I eat meat and I'm able to tap in really easy. So I honestly think it depends on the individual and their body chemistry. So, but absolutely the more, greens you eat, clearly the better the communication is going to be. So I eat lots of greens. I'm a weirdo. Like I said, I literally, if I could just have asparagus, I'm all for it. Crystal, I am going to do, in July, I'm going to do a spirit guides and angels kind of workshop. So, but the best way to communicate with them is just learning how to meditate and then paying attention to, weird things that might be happening past that point. How many lives do we have here on Earth? Lots, hundreds. So if you think this is your first rodeo, no. No, you can't possibly learn all of your life lessons in one shot. So you come back several times. So Mike is asking thoughts on our world getting back to normal and people waking up. I will tell you that this world isn't really necessarily going to go back to normal. It's just not. This is a new paradigm. We are now the age of Aquarius. And in order for things to change, they're just going to have to. So things are not going to go back to normal. We have to figure out as a humanity, as a community, how to figure out how we move forward from this. But I honestly think it's gonna help. I mean, it's gonna help just getting, but I don't think we're going to be so different that we're not going to be able to go out to dinner and things like that. So, I mean, that's slowly starting to loosen up. I really think things are starting to kind of loosen up here a little bit. So, but like I said, normal we're never going to go back to normal. So we just have to figure out this new paradigm that we're that's why everybody's now all of a sudden going through awakenings. I mean, everybody is. And either you're going through an awakening or you're not. It's very black and white. And that split between enlightenment and unenlightenment with this whole COVID thing has absolutely really split that open. And so a lot of people are, especially with Venus in retrograde, you're going to see marriages or divorces. It's black and white, just like that. So you're going to see a lot of that stuff. But that's just kind of how people evolve. So that's okay. Can you recognize soulmates through dreams and clairvoyant visions? Varsha, not usually. Usually you're going to see a soulmate, and 9 times out of 10, that's actually going to be your spirit guide, because they're expressing to you in the best way that you can understand love. So a lot of times that's going to be your spirit guide. JC, what's my definition of an awakening? It's basically the difference is, I always tell people it's one thing to understand your connection to God. It's another thing to feel it. When you go through an awakening, you feel it. So, but I'll tell you what, you wouldn't be watching me right now if you weren't going through an awakening. You would think I'm an absolute crazy ass person. So that's, I'm like, for everybody that's on here, all 150 people watching, I can tell you that you're all enlightened. You're just trying to figure out, yourself and figure out who you are, where you're going, what you want, what your goals are, and what the hell to do with this stuff. So that's why I enjoy doing these Q&As, to help you guys out, because I felt the same way when I started going through it 15 years ago. So, top 5 things you should buy at awakenings. I would say the basic crystals, sage, absolutely get your sage. And then anything really that kind of sticks out at you. I always tell people you'll see it too. So you'll see it and go, oh, I need it. So, and just get it. That's the one thing with the best way that I can explain is that you'll see it and go, oh, I need to have it. And I'm like, usually it's suited right for you. So, when you see 5s for the change, is it always a good change? Yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it defines in the person. So bad changes aren't necessarily bad in the long run of things. They're just bad when they happen right at the minute. So, but eventually they always turn out great. Do you ever become one with your higher self, or will there always be a higher dimension of you? There will always be a higher dimension of you until you get to the 13th dimension. So we are in the 4th dimension. Actually, we're heading into the 5th dimension. So we get to go to 12. So there's lots of dimensions. So how do I stop feeling strong emotions as an empath? Understand it's not you that has to rescue everybody. Empaths always feel like they need to fix everybody. And I'm like, I always tell my empaths, don't fix anyone unless they ask of it. And if they do, then yes, of course, help them. But don't just expect to help somebody because they need it. Sometimes they just need to vent. So sometimes they don't want your help. Sometimes they just want an ear to listen to. So, but that doesn't mean that you need to over empathize with them. It doesn't. Just hear them out. So, I've been noticing a lot of birds lately, signs. Yep, they are. So look up the spiritual meaning behind whatever bird that you're seeing. Google is great for that. Yes, Awakenings is open. We've been telling people we have a sign right at the front door that masks are optional. So if you're autoimmune and you don't feel comfortable, then I've been telling people we're still doing the online store. So that is still open and everything else. So, but yeah, our store is open. Do some spirits not want to connect with us? No, never. Never. They always do. Even the ones that you didn't get along with in this world, those are the ones that will come through too. So usually with an apology. So, but yeah. Do you have a reading done only a month after you've had one done? Oh, I tell people to wait at least 3 months. At least 3 months. You shouldn't need me monthly. And if you do, that means to tell me that you're very indecisive and you got to make your decisions for yourself. I can't make them for you. I can help guide you. I can give you the best possible outcome based on how you are. But I always tell people wait every 3 months, at maybe even 4 to 5. So I have people that, I've been doing this for 8 years and they get a reading one time a year. So, and that's great. Like I said, but you don't have to. So I should be able to get you to a point where you wouldn't need me anymore. So that's my goal. Tapping, tingling, right side, left side. Is this male versus female spirit? Not necessarily, Segan, but if that's how you interpret it, then that would be correct for you. Okay. Sherry, right knee hurting. That's because you're scared shitless to quit a job or a relationship. So you know what you need to do, but you're scared to do it. Can number meanings differ based on the situation? They can, Emily, based on how you interpret them. Yes. Hey, stop it. Hey. So Shelly's asking what causes dementia. Okay, so dementia or Alzheimer's is God's way of saying, you know what, you had a really hard life growing up and you're still really hard and rigid. Let's have you let go of that before you cross over into heaven. So what it is that they're releasing the hardship with how they were raised. And usually the dementia is like they were farmers and they had to go out. These kids, under the age of 10 had to go out to the chicken coop, get the chickens, bring the eggs back in so they could have breakfast in the morning. So they really didn't have, it was a good life. It was hard. So there's a difference in that. So that's why I want to explain. It's not like they had a bad life. It's because they had it hard and they viewed life as hard. You have to work hard. You have to earn everything. You have to do everything. I'm like, no, not necessarily. You can manifest some shit. It's a lot easier that way. So, but that's usually where that comes from. Donna, I am going to do a workshop on cord cutting in July. I just scheduled that one. But what cutting cords is that when you meet somebody, you attach what's called an etherical cord. So that binds you to another person. And after a while, you want to cut the damn cord. So I'll show you some different tips and techniques that you can do to cut cords. But even taking a piece of selenite and wafting it kind of in front of you and behind you cuts those cords. So that's an easy one. Christina, neck pain is literally somebody being a pain in your neck. So, and it's not about the other person. It's about the fact that you allow it. So that's what pain in the neck is, literally somebody being a pain in the neck. So that's usually where that one comes from. Let's see here. Bells is saying, doctor says breast implants can cause my autoimmune symptoms. I feel like it's my implants. If they are silicone and you've had them for more than 7 years, then it will leach into the lymphatic system and cause some shit. So I would tell you, if that's the case, go back to saline and not silicone, because silicone can act, if getting into the lymph node systems, will act like an autoimmune response. So because your body is trying to fight something off. So if that's the case, then I would recommend getting those out and getting them replaced with saline. So I would never put silicone in the body. Nope. There's way too many things that could go wrong with that. So even if it's, able to be in the body, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. So, but that's just my truth. So, but that doesn't make sense. Just received my prophecy stone. Best way to use it. Okay. I tried out this prophecy stone because I was all like, what's this prophecy stone, right? Because Eric's like, ooh, we got to try it. I'm like, all right, whatever. So it comes in the Libyan desert, and they're fairly rare to find. They were just recently discovered, and they're little brown, little like balls. So they're little brown balls. And what I did was I meditated with it just to see if I could feel anything different. Well, I was vibing high enough that I was like, I think I can see sound. Like it's a high viber. So it's one of those where you use it to meditate with and just try just to sit there and just be. My head, the top of my head started going whoop, whoop, whoop. And that's normal when I meditate, but it happened faster. So normally it takes me about 20 minutes to get there. It happened in like 10 minutes. So it kind of cut that time in half. So yeah, the prophecy stones, they'll zing you. I was impressed. So I didn't think it would do that, but it did. Is the veil thinning? Kids seeing a white figure, light flickered, sleep deprived. It's not so much the veil thinning as because we're just becoming more intuitive. Our vibration is going up. So it's not so much that there's a thinning, it's just that our vibration is going up and we're tapping into their world. They're not tapping into ours. We're tapping into theirs. So, because we're raising that vibration. So, okay. My father's currently on hospice. We're not able to see him due to COVID. Ugh. Having issues, he's going to die alone. Christina, my prayers are with you first and foremost. I can't imagine having somebody sick and having this whole COVID thing and not being able to be with your family. I'm sorry, personally, think it's bullshit. So if you got a family member that's getting ready to cross over, there should be no reason why you couldn't be with that family member, or at the very least, have your family member come home and cross over with you guys at home. I don't know if you can maybe push that issue. I don't know what the hospital policies are, but what are they gonna do? Kick you out? I'm like, I don't know. So I guess if I were in your shoes, I would do whatever it takes to be with my family if they're going to be crossing over, COVID or not. I don't care. That I would have a hard time with that one. I'm just trying to empathize with you, and I can't imagine. I know that a lot of people, are even having children right now, and they can't even have. They can have their partner, and that's it. So, like I said, I really empathize with the people right now going through those struggles. Maybe you can find a loophole. I don't really know. Maybe we can talk to the director, something. But either way, a lot of guys, when they cross over, they would rather be by themselves anyway. So, but almost always they're never alone. I mean, they always have loved ones that'll come over to help guide them home. There'll always be angels around. So the best thing I can do is tell you, if you can't be there with him, then pray for God to maybe put some angels around your dad just to make sure that he's extra comforted. And that would make you feel better too. All righty. Good luck, my dear. Right forearm elbow pain. Angela, it's because you're literally stuck. You need to get some goals. So that'll really, really help. Okay. I've been meditating, repeating numbers, can't connect. It's normal. It's okay. It'll come. Right now, the intuition, it's kind of fuzzy for a lot of people. So, I mean, I had to meditate today and I still kind of didn't feel like I could really get that good connection. So don't sweat it if you're having troubles with that right now. A lot of people right now are getting forced to pay attention to their real life crap and not their intuitive stuff. So that's okay. Seeing sevens like crazy. Yeah. So that's a good one. Yeah, Mary, if you're craving radishes, root chakra all the way. Yep, root chakra. So left thumb pain, Lisa, that is, you're really holding yourself back with your creativity, or you're trying to figure out what to do with your creativity. Lynn, when your nose itches like that or twitches, it's usually your third eye chakra opening. So almost always that's where that one's going to come from. Yep, Gwen's saying that she's seeing, when you guys see a bunch of repetitive numbers in one day, that means to tell me that you're really tapped in and to really pay attention. That's the time to really start asking God for some questions. Like, all right, God, I need a little bit of help here. So because that means to tell me that vibrationally speaking, you're vibing pretty high. So that's a good thing. Right shoulder pain. It's because you're burdening your children's responsibility or your husband's responsibility. Actually, it's more your husband. So quit over empathizing with your husband or shouldering his pain. Teresa, work with a lot of employees, seem to congregate around me and talk to me about things. How do I handle this? Try to wiggle your way out of it the best that you can, but bubble up. Maybe keep even a piece of black tourmaline on you so they're not energy vampiring you too much. So that's usually what's going on with that one. It's because you're vibing high, they don't, and so they're going to want to leech on and be like, talk to me, and you're like, no. So I'm learning to communicate with spirit. Do they ever feel tested? No, they completely understand human doubt and stupidity. So trust me, I've tested mine a lot. So, and they're like, it's okay. We understand your doubt. So we'll just keep doing it till you figure it out. I was like, sweet. So they get it. It's all good. Reason for putting shungite in the basement, Shannon, is to block EMF. So everybody's talking about this 5G stuff and all this. I'm like, shungite and orgonite are the two things that will really help you to block that EMF stuff. So that's always good stuff. So I have a big chunk of it right in front of my Wi-Fi connection. So I can still do Wi-Fi, no problem. But I don't want the weird radiation after it. I also have a piece of orgonite in between my cell phone and my bed where I sleep. So it's an orgonite pyramid. Meghan, cousin was murdered. Will they find her? Yes, but you got to give that one a little bit more time yet. Ugh. So, and they know who did it. So they'll get there. Sherry, I was talking about the insomnia earlier. It's just because the Schumann resonance is spiking so crazy. So it's like I said, insomnia, either you're not going to have any sleep or you're going to sleep a lot, A or B. Okay. Yeah, he's in prison. Yeah, they'll find her because he'll talk. They always brag in prison and then they end up getting caught because they're dumb. Christopher alopecia. Shauna. I gotta think about that. Selenite, rutilated quartz. No, not that one. I would even consider crackle quartz too. Carusite is good, but not for kids. So I would say one of those three. Why is your dog diabetic? I'm wondering if your dog that's diabetic, I'm wondering if you adopted the dog. So I'm just curious. So, or if you divorced your husband. So, anything on the cabal? Honestly, I haven't heard anything lately. Everything's kind of on the down low. They're just like, just have some faith and wait. I'm like, okay. So I haven't really honestly heard much. I haven't heard hardly anything actually. So I know that majority of the tunnels have been cleared. They're still working on it though. So the white hats have gotten a lot of them, but the bad guys still have tunnels. So they want to blow up all the tunnels. That's why you see all these weird like earthquakes in places that shouldn't have earthquakes. I'm like, if it's not fracking, it's that. Yes, Carrie, I think he is. Claudine is asking, will Trump win re-election? I think he will. So whether you like that or not, meh, but you're asking me for psychic, I'm saying I think he will. So I told that to my mom and she's like, no. So, but it's, everybody has their own different opinion and it's okay. So, continue to have a dream about climbing up a rickety staircase. What does that mean? Hey, Crystal, that's good. That means to tell me intuitively you're working on remembering all the stuff from previous lives and bringing it into this life. That's a good thing. That's a spiritual good thing. Oldest son, 18, started having anxiety panic attacks. Sarah, ideas to help him? Yes, don't do it for him. So usually guys who are about 18, 19, 20, when they get out in the real world, they don't know how to handle it. It's because their mom did everything for them. I'm like, so don't enable him. Don't enable the anxiety. You have to literally sit with him, have him talk about it, have him go through it, but don't do it for him. A lot of parents are like, well, it's just easier if I do it. I'm like, yeah, but you're actually disabling an adult child by doing that. So that, and I'm curious to know if you also have anxiety, because I want to make sure that you didn't teach him that anxiety. Will they find a vaccine that works? I will tell you, even if they do offer a vaccine, I'm out. I ain't going to do it. So, and the only reason why is there's no long-term testing. How do I know what they're putting into my body isn't going to affect me 50 years down the road? No, thanks. I'm not anti-vax, by the way. I'm not. I think that nobody needs freaking polio here. But at the same time, I'm like, I'll be the last one to get it. No, thanks. This COVID stuff, I don't know if it's going to go away or not. I don't know. So this one is so unpredictable for me. I don't even know. So, celiac disease, that is an autoimmune issue. And I'm going to tell you that it's not so much what you're eating. It's either the guilt or the stress of you eating. So the biggest thing is don't stress when you eat, but when you have a huge stress response, your body shuts down with celiac. So it's a stress issue, but it lies in the lack of relationship that you have with your biological father. So that's where it's going to lie. So, how do you not worry about a kid with anxiety and depression, ADHD going off to college? Can they be successful? They can. Absolutely, they can. And so what I tell parents is, if you got a child going off to college, don't just drop them off at the damn door and walk away. Literally take them, which I will do that with my daughter. So I will literally take her where she needs to go. This is where the lunch is. This is where the bathroom is. This is where your first class is. And literally walk them to the door physically. So that way, when they know what to do, they have an idea of where to go, what to do, and have their basic needs met. So yeah, I don't think you should just drop them off, but at the same time, that they've got to be self-reliant. You're teaching your children how to be self-reliant outside of your home. That's your job as a parent. And sometimes you have to force them uncomfortable situations. I mean, my son was 12 years old and was scared to death to go into Walgreens to get some milk, and would sit for a half hour in the car having damn near a panic attack going, oh, what if I don't have enough money? What if somebody kidnaps me? What if I'm like, oh, and we had to literally do the what ifs the whole time through until I finally was like, well, we're not going anywhere until you go in and get it. And so when he went in and got it and came back in the car, he realized it wasn't that big of a deal. And so the next time we did it, we still had that panic, but it was less. And I kept doing that until he got used to the fact that he's going to have to go get his own groceries because mom ain't going to be there. So it's gotten easier, but it literally, like I said, it's my job to teach my kids how to be self-reliant outside when they turn 18 years old. I'm not going to I don't do their dishes. I don't do their laundry anymore. They're both 15. When they turn 15, I'm done doing your laundry. So once a week, they cook dinner. So they have to know how to do that. So, but those are basic life skills that parents are supposed to teach their kids. It's not the teacher's job, it's our job. So, but like I said, don't enable their anxiety. Let them work through it. And it's difficult to watch your kid struggle. It is, but they've got to be willing to work through it. And they need you as a sidebar, as that person to comfort them and say, it's okay, it's all good. Just keep working through it. What's really bothering you right now? And a lot of times they can't even identify it. So, but just keep working it through them and doing the what if scenarios. That really does help them in the long run. So, best tools to help me find my missing father. Ooh, Kathy, that's a hard one. Try a different pendulum. If your shungite one isn't working, let's try to get a different one. Maybe shungite isn't the right one for you. So let's try to get a different pendulum. And I would even get like a pendulum graph or a chart and see if that won't help. Jennifer's saying that both vivid dreams about my dog and a best friend, both passed in 2016. Do they need something from you? No, they're just saying hi. They just want to say hi and that they're okay and that they're thinking about you. They never need anything. Anybody in heaven doesn't need anything. People on earth need something. Heaven, no, they don't need anything. Their needs are met. So, Emily, yeah, that's definitely a hint of something that you should be doing. Teresa, restless leg syndrome, what causes it? Honestly, usually when I see that, it's a chiropractic issue. And I know that sounds so weird, but it's like the nerves within the tailbone and the bottom parts of your butt, especially if you've injured your tailbone at one point in time. For some reason, I see that kind of tied in with that restless leg stuff. So, and sometimes it could be medication too. So it depends, but I've seen both. Neuropathy is point blank stubbornness. So people that have neuropathy are usually very stubborn, rigid people that don't like change at all. Does breastfeeding have spiritual benefits for mom and baby? Not necessarily spiritual benefits, but benefits, absolutely yes, because bodies are amazing at feeding babies. So yeah. Don't know how to handle situation with my son. Any advice? I don't know the situation. So remember, guys, I'm not doing readings on this one because I did 8 readings today. I'm tired. Rana, just keep working at it. She's like, I'm getting messages, but not sure what they mean or how to do with it. Just keep working at it. And I would tell you, if you want to start reading people, do it baby steps, just be like, start up, with tarot cards, start with friends, start slow. It's all good. Okay. Mary's feeling intense vibrations, different spots of the body. Why? I'm going to tell you, that's all the Schumann resonance shit. So with these spikes of energy that we're having, your body is reacting to the resonance that's going on. And as a result, when it vibrates, that means it tells me that it's actually raising its vibration to heal itself. And so if you're vibing really high, like one day, the next day you'll notice you're exhausted. That's the body just recouping. So it's all good. What causes canker sores, Jackie? Not speaking your truth. You really want to say something, but you're like, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm like, that's it. That's what it is. It's because you're not speaking your truth. Will Reiki clear anxiety and PTSD? You know what, Claudine? It'll help. But usually PTSD, I found that like hypnotherapy seems to be working pretty well with that. So maybe that might be an option too. But Reiki always helps everybody. I don't care who you are. It helps. So I will tell you that I get Reiki done probably 4 times a year with me. So why do mirrors make people uncomfortable? What's a weird issue with mirrors? I don't know, Shelly, but they freak me the hell out. Like mirrors are weird. So, and I know that, back in the day when somebody died, they would always put, black cloths over the mirrors. I'm like, freaky. So I don't know why those things freak me out. So, but they're like portals. And I'm like, I don't know what they are. They wig me out. I don't like them. No. So, are there some things I can do to help with ovulation? Yes, Frankie, anything orange. That's also known as the water chakra. So anything orange that you eat oranges, smell oranges, look at orange, and then also anything water related. So baths, showers, sitting by the lake, anything water related is really going to help. Can spirit cause, okay, I can't. Severe pain, both ears. That's all this energy hitting. So especially, it's like physical pain, and then you'll get it up in here too. Why do I rub my hands before I do a reading? I don't know. I do it. So I actually shake people's hands. I mean, I can't do that right now, but how do I help my 6-year-old daughter with her anxiety? Kristen, that means to tell me that you're teaching her anxiety. She's learning it from you. So if you really want to help your 6-year-old, don't be anxiety ridden around her. Don't show her how to worry about little situations. So I'm going to tell you, you fix you, you'll then in turn fix her, because she's learning it from somewhere. A 6-year-old is not born anxiety ridden. It's learned. So somebody's teaching her how to worry. So, sister has MS. What's the cause? Angela, that's autoimmune. So that's a lot of viral issues within the body. That's an autoimmune response. So that's not necessarily an issue other than a lot of stress, or she is an over worrier or a stressor about things that are out of her control. So yeah, you can buy yourself tarot cards. Sure, I do. I bought myself several decks. It wasn't until somebody gifted me a deck that I was like, I like this one. So, but yeah. No, Dee Dee, that's probably, she's asking, my spirit guide of an Indian descent, is that my grandfather? Usually your loved ones are not your spirit guides. Usually. Sometimes they do come in, but not usually. Not how I see them anyway. So, toes on left foot are purple, right knee extreme pain when kneeling on it. Carol, that's good old stubbornness. So watch how stubborn or defiant you are. Anything might help with 10-year-old opposition, defiant disorder. Kathy, I need to know if that's a girl or a boy. I'm assuming that's a boy. And Kathy, if it's a boy, then that means to tell me that him and his dad ain't vibing. So I would really, yeah, it's a boy. So that means to tell me that he's honestly really pissed off at his dad. Really pissed off at his dad. And that's why I'm like going, so he's going to defy him with everything he's got. Plus he's an indigo child on top of it. So, so dad needs to learn how to talk to him, and he needs to start the sentence with I and not you need to. Because the minute that boy hears you need to, he will do the polar opposite just to prove a point. So that kid is strong-willed, and he's going to defy his father in particular. So it's the relationship between him and dad that need to get mended. So Reiki can help with MS. Lisa, what causes kidney stones? It's not feeling good enough in your parents' eyes and then being angry over it. So, yep. La, 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 la. Tear of death at time of passing. What does that mean? Usually for me, if they cry right when they're getting ready to cross over, usually it's because they see their loved ones and they're releasing. So they're releasing everything. But usually that's just, it's a happy tear. So it's usually very rarely a sad one. It's very happy. Crystals that help with abdominal pain. Lisa, anything yellow. Anything yellow that you think is cool looking. So citrine, yellow aventurine, things like that. So once used crystal and a pendulum, asked spirit guides questions, always got a bad spirit, called me names, very scary. How do I keep them away? You tell them I only want to talk to people for my highest good. So I did a pendulum workshop. Go back and watch that workshop on here on YouTube. So, but yeah, that's when you're just wanting to talk to anybody. I'm like, no, you're not defying your parameters. So I only want to talk to people who are for my highest good only. That's it. So anybody who's not can't come in. So, and if you still don't feel comfortable, ask God to surround you with the white light of the Holy Spirit. So that will help too. Mala beads. So Ashley's asking about malas. So malas are, and I kind of have a little bit of an example here. That's what I wore today. So malas have 108. No, shit. Babe. Watch this. Hey, babe. How many beads in a mala? 108. Okay, haha. So I can never remember that. I don't know why. He knows. I don't. So there's 108 beads in a mala. So this is an example of a mala. And what you do is you don't use your pointer finger. I figured that one out. So you use your middle finger and your thumb. And while you're meditating, you're just going to repeat a mantra in your head. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. And then when you get to a bead that's a little bit different like that, there's a little bead that's a little bit different, then you're going to pause, take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then do it again. And you can say whatever mantra you want or not say anything at all. You can go with a breath, breathe in, breathe out. It really is at your own pace. So, but you just kind of, like I said, it's thumb and middle finger, and you just want to kind of go like that. And then when you get to the starting point or your end point, then you're done with your meditation. So But yeah, that's what mala beads do. They're great. So I really like to use malas when I first started to learn how to meditate, because my brain was really like chattery. And so it really helped me to kind of concentrate and just repeat. So are bunions on the inside of big toes fear of moving forward? Absolutely. It's not veering off of life purpose. It's you're scared to death about change or moving forward with something new. Are there specific type of crystal or any beads? No, it can be whatever floats your boat. So there's tons of different kinds. I know Awakenings, we sell lots of malas all the time. So it really is something that it's a personal choice, really, whatever you think looks cool. So crystals to help with weight loss. We actually have a weight loss kit at Awakenings, but blue apatite is your number one go-to on that one. Really love. Oh, yeah, good love. Okay. What do you think of the celery juice craze? It is very cleansing, but I will tell you, don't do the full like 8 ounces right out the gate. It'll get you. So baby steps with that stuff. But I'm going to tell you, Medical Medium. When I read his book, I was like, finally somebody that gets it. Like I couldn't figure out the autoimmune within the body. And when I read his book, I was like, yes, I finally understand. I get it. So I really, I think he's got great points in there. I'm not a juicer. I will in the morning. But I don't do it as much as what he does. I eat my fruits and vegetables, but like I said, I had a hamburger with asparagus today. So I'm like, balance, I guess. And I had tacos for lunch. I'm like, what? It's Tuesday. Gotta have Taco Tuesday. So, okay. What can help with a stroke patient? Bloodstone is actually a really good crystal. Top of head, sensitive to touch. Steph, that's your crown chakra opening. That'll take a couple days to kind of get rid of. Sometimes it'll even itch really bad too. So just hang in there. That one hurts. What do asthma attacks indicate? Over empathizing and literally feeling constricted, like all eyes are on me and I can't live my life the way that I want to because I'm afraid of what my mom, my dad, my family might say. So a lot of times it's a constriction of I can't be me because people might think I'm weird, or people might think I'm different, or people might think about something about me. Nah. Angela, TV pops, it's because your energy is causing it to. So especially when you're not thinking of anything. Okay, Enlightenment Academy. Let me talk about this one. So with the whole COVID thing has really slowed down my Enlightenment Academy. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working on a series of videos and turning it, instead of doing it in person one, I kind of wanted to do more of the recordable, me recording it. And then that way you guys can watch it at your own pace. So I guess maybe I'll put that out for debate, because I know some people would rather do it in a form such as this, where there's a chat bar and things like that. And then other people may want to learn on their own accord. So either that, or maybe I can record it and then they can watch it. So, but let me know kind of how you guys want to do that. Enlightenment Academy, I'm doing a lot of free videos, but the free videos that I'm doing is for like the entry level kind of like grade school knowledge that most people are trying to figure out. If you want that like higher education when it comes to the spiritual stuff, especially if you want to learn how to read people, or you want to really dive deep into how this stuff all is connected and works, that's what Enlightenment Academy is about. So I'm still trying to figure out on what platform I'm going to do that. So, but yes, I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Other than that, yes, I still do private individual readings as well. ADHD, well, that's what I have. So clearly, I'm wiggly. But ADHD, I think, is for people like me. So I am going to do right now, I still have a retreat scheduled in Sedona for September. But at this point, I don't have anything, but I kind of wanted to get something a little bit closer to home. So like thinking maybe Colorado or something along those lines. So, but let me know, like, go ahead and Facebook message me and let me know if you guys want to do a retreat, and if so, where. So let me know. Like I've been to Sedona so much, I'm like, meh. But I know my people that love to go to Sedona. They've always wanted to go, and they want to go with somebody like me. So, and I don't mind going because I'm like more of a tour guide. So, so yeah. So yeah, you guys prefer in person too. Interesting. Okay. When seeing Jesus and angels when you're really sick, how do you know if it was real? Lisa, that shit's real. You don't daydream about stuff like that. Nope, that's absolutely true. Ooh, Black Hills. Ooh, that's good. Yes. Black Hills, that's a really good one. Okay. Yeah, Sedona. Yep. We're gonna change big time for the better. Brittany, we're all hoping so, honey. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. So because this one's out of my hands and everybody else's hands. Retreat and enlightenment on your webpage. It's not right now. I'll work on that. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how the hell I want to do this because I don't know if people still want to do in person or not, or I don't know. Because I know with the whole COVID thing, I gotta make it accessible for everybody. So somebody else is like, yes, to the Black Hills. Black Hills are just freaking magical, aren't they? Oh my God, love. Another free talk reading. Last one was crazy. So Shelly, what I'm doing now is since I can't do those anymore because they're just too popular. So my real talks are now getting transferred into the live audience readings, which I just put one up on Facebook to see if it would roll, and it sold out within like 40 minutes. So I'm doing a few more here in June. I'll get those out. So and figure it out. Do you believe friends who have a connection to each other in a form of life? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. So how do you forgive an ex who did you and the children wrong? Baby steps, Kendra. Baby steps. But every day, just realize that he's the one that made the mistake. You didn't. You're the one that honored your commitment. He didn't. And a lot of times you got to look at how he was raised. So if mom babied him too much, he's a narcissist, they cheat. That's just what they do. So your job is to forgive him for his ignorance, which is so not easy to do. But we do that over time. Best place for a family to mine your own crystals in the USA. Jessica, go to, oh gosh, I can't think of the lake. But it is in Arkansas. There's quite a few around that certain lake in Arkansas by Little Rock. No. I don't think that's right. Something like that. So, Morse code, thumping in left ear. Michelle, usually that's a loved one. Everybody's like, oh, thanks. I'm like, well, thanks. So, can I change the chain on my pendulum? You can. You absolutely can. Yeah, Creator of Diamonds is really good too. So, but a lot of them are around a certain lake, and I know I can't hardly pronounce the lake, but that's I think that one outside of Sedona, I really think that area is going to be Hot Springs, Arkansas. That's it. So I really think that area is going to start kind of being the next Sedona, the next, like, it's just the feels of it, you know? Where can you find crystals in your own yard? There used to be a certain spot. I don't know. It depends. Son says, thanks for the alopecia. You bet. So the biggest thing when it comes to your son, I know alopecia a lot of times is it's an autoimmune issue. So I want to make sure that your son chills. No stress. I don't want your son to stress no more. So help with dad, dementia. There is one in particular. I think it's called Cerusite. And that's a really good one for dementia. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, Cerusite, Cerusite. The only thing is that it contains a little bit of lead, so no kids get to touch it. So smell of vanilla out of nowhere. Strauss, most likely that's a loved one, just saying, coming by and saying hi, grandma, great grandma, something along those lines. So once they found crystals next to cement underground, that's meant for you to find. That's meant for you to find. So absolutely. How long after a loved one passed can we try to connect? It depends. Most of the time you can connect pretty quick. most of the times once they transition over within 3 days, you're going to have a dream. So usually that's how it goes. I tell people to wait 3 months before they come in and get a reading, because I want your loved one to get acquainted over here. And I want you, especially if it was a quick, fast death, I want the person that I'm talking to be out of that shocked phase. So because if they're shocked, I'm telling you about it, but you're not going to hear it because you're not there. So that's why I always tell people wait about 3 months before you come in and get a reading, because then you're ready to hear what they have to say. So a lot of times, like for instance, if a son commits suicide and the mom comes in for a reading and I'm telling them, no, it was a suicide. And especially if it's pretty fresh, a lot of times they don't believe it was a suicide. They're like, no, it wasn't. It was because of something else. I'm like, no, it wasn't. So that's what I mean. You can't hear me. It's hard for you to accept that answer. But that's just grief or shock. That's normal. So, what are our loved ones doing on the other side? Actually, they're actually they're busy. They're usually checking up on you. They're also doing things like life review. So what life review is, you literally go back and review your life. And if you wanted to go left and you're thinking that you wanted to go right, well, then you can review that shit. So then you can see probably the outcome of what would have happened if you would have taken the left and not the right. So it's actually pretty entertaining. But they also go through, if you hurt somebody, then you will feel that pain. So it's just kind of like, it's a life review. So plus they get reacquainted, and then they're able to look back and say, your purpose coming into this world was to figure out the abandonment issue, things like that. So, but there's a whole team that will help you on the other side. How do you find out your spirit animal? Meghan, ask. So just ask. Okay, God, I want to know what my spirit animal is, like the mammal, because it's usually one mammal, one insect, and one bird. So just ask God specifically, just like, okay, I want to know what my spirit mammal is. And you'll see it over and over and over and over and over again until you can't miss it. You can't miss it. You'll be like, okay, it's a squirrel. Really? I'm like, yeah, mine is. So with my ADHD, makes sense. So I never hold still. I'm like, well, squirrel. So is camping really beneficial for kids? I will say not only yes, but hell yes. So it grounds them down. It keeps them logical. It actually helps to develop their own sense of intuition due to curiosity. So absolutely yes. So Janet, do people who commit suicide get peace right away? It depends on the circumstance. So 9 times out of 10, yes. Sometimes no. So it really depends on the circumstances. So crystals to help a toddler sleep, Catherine. Any black or red ones, selenite also helps too. So no purple or blue ones, not when they go to bed because they're uppers. So the only blue one the exception would be like blue lace agate. So that would be an okay one because that's a calmer stone. But usually your black or pieces like selenite's good. So do spirit animals change? Not usually. Not usually. Once you have them, you have them. Why do spirits come through? Well, why wouldn't they? So they're here to help us. Why am I so focused or drawn to butterflies? That very well for you, Jackie, could be a sign from a loved one, or that could be one of your spirit animals. So make sure to look that one up. And just Google it. Just Google it. And if it makes sense to you, if it resonates to you, then that's your truth. And if you're like, it don't make no sense, well, that ain't yours. That ain't yours. Help with the 8-year-old boy with bedwetting and emotional outbursts. Heather, that is because they have a father figure or a stepfather or a father figure in the house that most likely is military or cop or somebody who's very judicial. An 8-year-old boy, when they bedwet, is releasing fear. It's because their father or the father figure in the house is overbearing too much. So, and as a mother, it's your job to protect your son from somebody who's being overbearing when it comes to him. And that's usually where that's coming from. They're scared to death. And so what they're doing is they're releasing that fear at night. And it always pertains to their father. And their father most likely is ex-military cop, very heavy. I won't say heavy-handed, but just very disciplined and do it this way. And this is my way or the highway. So I'm like, that don't work raising kids anymore. I will be having a workshop in July for meditation. How to overcome limiting belief or fear. I would tell you, Stephanie, educate yourself, because you can't fear what you don't understand. If you understand it, you don't fear it. So, but the other part of that, Steph, is go back and let's look at how your mom raised you. Did your mom raise you that everybody's looking, we can't do that? Look, how were you raised by your mom? And the biggest thing is that I want you to look at that and go, okay, is that true for me? So a lot of times it's just like an old record, and it's not necessarily your truth, but you're believing it because somebody told you to. So really look into that. Let me see. If a girl is a bedwetter, it's usually sometimes it's because mom is overbearing. Why would a 5-year-old girl with a consistent father be so interested in attention from older men? Let me rephrase this one. You're saying 5-year-old girl with consistent father. Is it the biological father? Nope. If it's not the biological father, that is still an abandonment issue. So it must be the biological father. So we need to rephrase this and see if that's the case. So, all right. All righty. Heart palpitations, feeling nauseous. Amy, that's just the energy right now. That's just the energy right now. Adopted. There you go. See, that's why I'm like going, nope, that's not her biological father. So if it's a biological father, that's a permanent grounding rod. You never have to worry about that. But still, adoption. So that means to tell me that she's going to naturally, you're going to have to watch her for sexual promiscuity. You're just going to have to watch her for that. So because what she wants more than anything else in this world is her biological father's attention. And at 5 years old, that's a very difficult concept. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So, any crystals to heal from rejection? Heidi, anything pink or green? Yes. Anything pink or green, especially malachite, rose quartz, green aventurine. Those are good ones. Right wrist arm pain. Lisa, time to... I want to make sure that your partner isn't overly critical or your father is overly critical. So a lot of times that one comes from that. Angela, I will tell you that might be a past life issue if you're having overcome fear of wasp and bees, or somebody in your family showed you how to be scared of them. So like if your mom's scared of spiders and she teaches you how to be deathly afraid of spiders. So yeah, that might be it. Anything to help with a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old listen to stop fighting. Boy, Tylene, good luck with that shit. So I will tell you that is normal for those boys to fight, and then the next minute they're okay, and then they'll fight, and then they're okay. And your boys are probably complete opposite of each other. So they're gonna. So, but you know what? I'll tell you what. It really makes them, what they're doing is they're defining who they are with the opposition of. So when they get to be adults, it's actually pretty good because they know how to A, defend themselves, and B, they stand up for who they are. So it's not always a bad thing. Christina somebody's asking, how do you become less logical, more intuitive? Meditate, 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 meditate. So, because remember, your intuition comes in faster than your logic. So pay attention to how things feel to you, not how they make sense. So, Lori, if you choke on stuff, it's literally that you're either not liking your reality and you're accepting it for what it is, or it's because you don't speak your truth and say, no, I don't want to, but you do it anyway and then get upset over it. Which crystals to buy to attract abundance? Olivia, green aventurine, pyrite. What else? Pyrite. I don't know. I have a whole kit. At Awakenings, we actually have a money manifestation kit. That's the one I would tell you to get. So, because it's got all of those in there. So that's the best one. Teaching my daughter at home. Notice she's cannot concentrate. So Kristen, a lot of parents are saying that their kids are not able to focus right now. And I'm going to tell you, you got to remember these poor kids, we took away their social life. So now we're saying, oh, by the way, we need you to pay attention and focus. And they're like, this isn't our routine. So it's been a lot harder for the kids. So try to get some black rocks. I would encourage you to send them outside for even 10 minutes. If they get an outside time, they're more likely to be able to come in and be able to focus in a little bit better. So, but like I said, they need to be grounded before they can refocus. So yeah. Jackie says, what's behind bladder issue? You're literally pissed off. It's being pissed off. Bladder is all about being pissed off. And it's not anger, it's just pissiness. So I'm hoping school will open up this fall. I really am. I'm not so worried about COVID. It's the other virus now that all of a sudden appeared that's affecting children. So because COVID doesn't affect kids, it's more of an adult issue, but now all of a sudden there's weird stuff going on. I'm like, great. So, best crystals for boundaries, especially for psychics, black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, 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 obsidian. So black onyx is a really good one too, but mostly obsidian. That's a really good one. 12-year-old anxiety introvert expressing he hears spirits. What can I help? Lindsay, I'll tell you what, when it comes to your son, just be there for him. I will tell you, don't try to just let him talk. Don't interrupt him. Let him, because I'll tell you what, my dad was deaf. Half the stuff that I told him, he couldn't hear me anyway, but he always acknowledged me. That's nice. Like he couldn't hear me, but always acknowledged me. A lot of times kids just want that one person that they know that they can be heard and be safe. So just be that safe person and just have them understand that they are the ones in control of spirit. Spirit is not in control of them. It is the opposite way, because I'm all about empowering our children and not making them fearful of this stuff. Number 2, don't let them watch scary movies. Don't. That just puts even more fear into something that isn't fearful. So yeah, that's why I'm like going, it's usually not fearful. Karen, that's just that vibration that we were talking about earlier. A lot of people are having vibrational issues. Can you carry too many crystals in your pocket? No, it just starts getting really heavy, especially if you put them in your bra. So, okay. I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to be done. My granddaughter doesn't want to go to her dad's house. Parents divorced a year. That's between the parents. So that really needs to be taken care of between the parents. And all you can do is address your son or daughter and let them deal with that. M. Bartles, sharp stomach pains, no test to the point cause. That kind of depends. I need to know if you married somebody just like your father. So that's my curious question is, I want to know if you married somebody like your father. So, for instance, if your dad was a narcissist, did you marry a narcissist? So, because what that is, it's a lack of self-confidence. But that's also could be, it's a push with a worry or stress. So it's usually a stress response, but a dad is the one to fill a girl's self-confidence. A mother is a job to fill their son's self-confidence. And so that's where a lot of this lies. And I'm curious to know if you had issues growing up with your biological father, and then you married somebody like your dad, and you don't know how to get out of that situation. And that usually might be where that kind of comes from. So, but a lot of times, rarely is it autoimmune, almost always it's emotionally led. So, Okay, I want to thank everybody again for attending my Q&A. Sorry, I was late again. So, but like I said, I wanted to eat my asparagus. It was really good. My mom picked it from the garden, so she brought it to me and I was so excited. I'm one of those weird ones that could like seriously eat it right out of the garden and it tastes like peas. I love it. So, but again, want to thank everybody for coming. I haven't sent out a newsletter in a while, so I will be sending out a newsletter here pretty soon. So if you haven't signed up for a newsletter, I'm going to remind you to do that. Just go to my website, psychickelly.com. It's at the very bottom of the page. So that way you don't miss out on any of this good stuff. So I will be doing now a lot more free videos here in June and July. Honestly, I wanted to get my vacations planned out first, and then I was gonna do the workshops around my vacation time. So want to thank everybody again for attending. Have a wonderful week. And I will be doing this again later in June, later in July. So, all right, guys, take care. Bye. There we go.